Hi everyone, my name is Kate Malin and I'm the Rector of Christ's Church in Rye. And I'm here to speak with you today about a new initiative at Christ's Church called the Youth Grantmaking Board. The Youth Grantmaking Board is the brainchild of Abby Nathanson, who is not only the Managing Director of Episcopal Futures, she is also a part-time staff member here. She is our Ministries Partnerships Coordinator. And when Abby was in high school herself, she was a member of a youth grant-making board, and it had a profound impact on her as a young person, but also on the trajectory of her education and vocational life. And for a long time, she's longed to replicate that experience and guide a new generation of teenagers into this endeavor that changed her life. So our vestry here at Christ Church was very excited about that idea. And we began earlier this year, by assembling a group of adult advisors who would support Abby as well as our high school board. And then we began to recruit participants, and some are high schoolers, members of Christ Church that live and go to school in Rye. Others are Rye residents who go to a different church or no church. And others are residents and in school in our nearby town of Portchester. So these are kids, some are bilingual, others are not. They have a wide range of backgrounds, but they came together to get to know each other, first of all, and then to learn about philanthropy and the language of grant writing and grant making, how to develop a call for proposal, how to develop criteria to evaluate applications. And they began to narrow their focus on a particular geographic region and on particular organizations that meet certain needs. They were pleased to welcome some guest speakers, including Episcopal Charities, who shared with them the experience of a large organization that distributes grants in New York. And then they spent an intensive period of time earlier this summer receiving the applications, evaluating them. There were stickers all over our conference rooms as they began to determine which organizations they wanted to fund and why. They wrote letters of congratulations to some and condolence to others, and were pleased to distribute $15,000 in grants to 7 organizations in Portchester. The money was raised by some generous donors here, as well as a grant from Christ Church Rye to this pilot endeavor. But going forward, the money will be raised by the current team of the Youth Grant-Making Board for the next year's team. So this is going to become kind of an ongoing process of participating as a member of the board and then taking on the responsibility of raising the funds for the next year's board to distribute. So I am just thrilled to tell you that these kids are amazing. The organizations are really excited about this next phase, which is on-site visits and the opportunity to evaluate the impact of these funds. And it's truly been humbling to see how focused and committed these young people are to making a difference in the lives of individuals and families in our community. So I am hopeful with Abby that this experiment and experience here at Christ Church will now be taken up by churches across our diocese, because a very little bit of funding can actually just not only make a difference, but also deepen young people's understanding about why we give, why it matters, not only for the recipient, but for us, how we grow by becoming invested in how our money and our time and our learning can make our baptismal promises a reality, and strengthen the bonds of affection between churches and also across cultural borders, which can sometimes seem insurmountable. So thank you so much for listening. I know that Abby will be happy to guide and help facilitate the launch of of similar programs in other churches. And of course, we would be delighted to have any questions from you at any time. Thank you.